he would have wrapped me up and FedEx me to Bangladesh. That's
How weird would that be? Like someone in Bangladesh just opens up a box and the Chris Sims is there.
Holy shit, there's a big blonde human in here.
He must have thrown a few picks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, what's up, baby? Yo, we are here. Chris Sims Unbuttoned. The big blonde human is here, okay? The big salty, peppered hair.
Yeah.
Distinguished, interesting man on the planet. Guy is here, too. What's up, everybody? Hope you're well. Chris Sims, Ahmed Fareed. We are here, Wednesday pod, right? Going into week 3 of the preseason.
Yep.
Got some stuff to talk about today. Have some fun. Second show back together, you and me. Like riding a bike. Felt great week 1 or show 1.
Yep.
Great show 2. Mm-hmm. Show 3, he's not going to be here again. That's right, everybody. Not going to be here. Yeah. Where are you going? Where are you going next week? What are you doing now?
We got Paralympics. Paralympics coming up, so you got the Olympics.
Gosh,
and then you go, wow, that was exhausting.
Right.
I could never do that again.
Right.
And then 2 weeks later, you have the Paralympics.
I got to do it again.
So you do it again.
Okay, all right.
But
all
no,
right.
I am looking forward to that. It's super fun to cover, and so
Okay.
that'll be too. But it does take me away from you.
Yeah.
But here's the good news.
Right, you're making me cheat on you a lot.
I know.
lately,
Here's the
right?
good news. I'll be back.
Right.
Week 1 of the season too. I mean, like I don't miss regular season.
You better not. You better not. It's preseason. That's cool right now.
Yeah.
All right. I'm having fun looking at Connor's pecs and his arm muscles. And
Which,
all
by the way,
that.
he really is in shape. Like I don't know. It's like
he's obsessive. He's obsessive. He always has been. Ever
he's
since
always
I've known
been in
him.
shape. But I looked at him. I was like, you're even stronger than you were last time I saw you.
Yeah, a little summertime.
Yeah.
A little more time off, and he's got to go to the beach and take his shirt off. So
Well, he got married too.
He got married
And that
too, so he wanted to look good
usually
in the
helps.
tux and all of that, right? Wanted to impress her.
Yeah.
The first night he, got with her and all that. I'm being totally crazy. I know both of them, so that's why I'm having fun. All right.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, the big blonde human that's dumb is here, and I will hand off the mic to Ahmed so he saves us all from being fired.
You had a great idea yesterday, and you texted it over the group chat. You're like, this is oftentimes we give you the hard job, and we're like, hey, this is a good idea. You do all the work. But you had the good idea that you had to do all the work. You're like, we talked about the quarterbacks, the rookie quarterbacks.
Right.
What if we go and look at all the non-quarterbacks
taken
in the first round and how they've been in the preseason, if they've played, how they've played.
Those are the guys that dominate the headlines, right? Those are the guys that we're all most excited to see how they fit in your football team. Those are the ones we were sold that were going to be the biggest difference makers, right? So anything I do, radio, whatever, people always ask about their first round pick. And we've hit on the quarterback stuff enough. And it really just happened where I was like, I literally got home from the show yesterday, PFT, and was like, I'm going to sit down and start watching the rookies. I don't care if we're talking about it or not. I need to do it for myself. And then as I got through it, and you start to go, man, there's a lot of guys starting, they're playing, they look good. That's when I texted. I was like, hey, I'm in the middle of watching all the rookies. Why don't we do a little first round rookie rundown? And then, Mr. Amateur film watcher guy was like, oh, of course, let me dive into
Sign
the
me
film
up.
here.
Sign
I'm
me up.
into it, and here we are. So we're going to give you a little inside look at all these guys today.
I can be wrong as much as the next guy. So
Exactly
get me involved
Exactly.
here. So the offensive linemen have played a lot. A lot of the offensive linemen have played many snaps. So we'll get to them second.
Yes.
Because there's some interesting discussions with them.
Very interesting.
But let's start with the wide receivers here first.
Yeah.
And we'll start with the guy that was taken before all of them, Marvin Harrison to the Colts. Has played 3 snaps, so not a whole lot to glean. But you almost can from that, right? Just the amount of snaps they're playing or not playing.
Right.
It's like the coaches either are comfortable. If it's not an injury, it's just like, all right, we've seen enough in practice. We don't need to see it in the preseason, I guess.
Yeah. I think there's that. I do think more teams this year, especially on the offensive side of the ball, are taking the we're not showing anything approach, right? It's been very basic from everybody. It really has. So, and some years there's different, ways of how teams attack with doing that stuff. Sometimes you have years where you go, well, this offense is showing a lot. They're going to make the first team prepare for a lot, and they want to work on what they want to work on, whatever. This year's a year of nobody doing anything. Cardinals would be one of those teams you do. But, he played what? 4 snaps?
Did I say the Colts? Cardinals?
You might have. Whatever. It's Harrison. It's confusing. I get it. So, people still call me Phil. So it's just it's totally understandable.
Yeah.
But with Harrison, it's only a few snaps, but there is stuff to see there. First off, hey, how's he look in his uniform? Damn, he looks tall and long in that uniform. Gosh, damn, he's tall, right? Definitely that. The thing that I think that pops off to me more than anything is just you could see right away his feet His feet at the line of scrimmage, his ability, his nuance, his maturity, whatever you want to say, is a little above the normal first-round receiver and his releases and all that. That's what I'm excited for. The preseason, like we'll talk with some of these other guys. Preseason doesn't do guys like this justice sometimes, right? Because they're keeping the route tree. His one of his great abilities is he's going to be able to run an intricate route tree, right? And right now they're like run a curl, run a go route, run a slant. Okay, good route, right? He's going to be better when it's like, oh, no, he faked the crossing route and then put his foot in the ground and came back out, right? Or he faked the post route and, oh, he went to the corner or the out route, right? That's where he really will, let alone when he has a Kyler Murray and his size, right? And this is where starting quarterbacks are better than any of these backups, the contested throws. Wait, nobody's open. Oh, if I put this right here with Marvin Harrison Jr., he'll catch this ball, right? And in tight coverage. Those plays aren't being had or even being looked at in a lot of ways on offenses right now, but I'm not really worried about Marvin Harrison Jr. They're going to game plan their whole offense around him, and he will be target number one.
We'll have to wait till the regular season to get a real good look at him. It looks like Malik Nabers we've gotten a look at.
Yes,
New
we have.
York Giants, 27 snaps, 19 last week versus Houston. What do you think? You were in love
I still am.
before the draft.
I still am. I'm still in love. I called him today on PFT, Mr. Do Everything, right? He's Mr. Everything. He is going, like Marvin Harrison Jr., going to be their guy that they feature the passing game around, right? And within what he's different with Marvin Harrison Jr., like we talked about in the draft process, is can he, run by people if he's outside one-on-one? Will he be able to do that? We'll see with Marvin Harrison Jr. That's still going to be the question. Nabers, right, we know he can do that. We've seen enough. We already saw it in some of the preseason action a little bit last week and all that. But I think it's just that he's so tough. He catches so many contested footballs. He's going to be great in the slot. He's going to be Jamar Chase on the outside. So that's why I say Mr. Do Everything. But I've been more impressed with not only just like some of the catches he had last week or what I've seen on social media, is just how many back shoulders, jump up and contort your body and change it and still catch it, right? Plays a very physical nature. Looks a hair less explosive than I would have expected, but I'm not going to judge too much on that because if you're a rookie, think about them. First off, they're nervous as hell, right? And you're giving your 100 every day because I'm proving that I'm the best first rounder they ever took here, right? So there's that pressure, let alone what happens to a lot of rookie receivers in training camp. They get abused. They get abused because most of the coaches are psychos, and they're like, look at this new toy I have, right? And they're like, go deep again. Gosh, he looks good. Hey, let's go and send him deep again. And I bet you Malik Nabers is running like a tenth slower than what he's going to run week one right now because he's just worn out from that. But still, man, I love his body. I love his physical nature, and I do think he's going to be able to do everything.
Those 27 snaps I said were just pass play snaps, 42 overall, so he's played quite a bit.
He's played
here.
Quite a bit, right.
And yeah, I did. You're right. He does play through contact really well.
Really well, right? You saw the back shoulder on the sideline. He had the out route, right, where he kind of caught it 15 yards downfield, and it was behind him. He jumps up. He turns his body. He gets the feet down.
Because he's not the biggest, 6 foot, 200.
Exactly right. Got a little thickness to him for sure. Probably could have he had that little go route up the right sideline early on in the football game. I think he could have got his left hand up there to try to catch it with two hands. He tried to catch it with one. He dropped it. Nonetheless, you see the talent. He will be the go-to guy. He's the most versatile and explosive receiver they got on that team.
There are some people that liked Odunze better than both of those guys.
Right.
Got taken by the Bears. Still in the top 10. Ken Young wants to know, how do you think Odunze has looked so far? Thought he looked great on Hard Knocks.
Yes.
It's the Hard Knocks test.
Yeah.
If you can look good on Hard Knocks, you might have a chance in the NFL.
Hey, it goes a long way. Hey, what do they always say? You only get one chance to make a first impression, right? And Odunze won the person. You're never going to find a guy that doesn't like Odunze. I could tell you that from being around him twice in my life, going, he's as cool and as nice and as genuine and has a look in his eye of niceness and a smile that comes to his face so easily. Everybody's going to like Odunze. He's the cool guy in the room. It's like, oh, man, there's Rome. He's cool. Let me go talk to him, right? So that I get. Looks like a Keenan Allen in his uniform. We compared him to Keenan Allen coming out in the draft, right? He does have that look, all right? Smoooooth. I said that on PFT today too. There's more than 2 O's in that one because of his route running, his body language. It is all very, very impressive. And another guy that I think the game planning will help because he's going to be the guy that, yes, there's not a lot of intricate route running yet. He's going to be very good at capitalizing off that. Plus, I know he's got a little rapport with Caleb Williams. And here's, I think, the thing that I like more than anything. And not all these are catches, but he, to me, has shown a little bit more explosiveness than I expected. I'm not going to lie. Like, that was my one thing about him. And, like, even on some plays he didn't get the ball, I go, oh, man, he was running a go route there. He got on top of that guy in a hurry. That was, I didn't realize he had that. And then you saw the scramble play where Caleb hits him up the left sidelines. Again, like Malik Nabers, his body control, his ability to contort his body and catch those type of balls is really, really impressive.
I mean, that is one of the things I wrote down is the speed looked real.
It
right?
looked
on the
real,
reverse,
right?
he ran a reverse,
exactly,
too. And I was like, man,
right.
Faster than everyone
out
there.
Than you think, right? Yeah. It's one of those where it's like, wait, he doesn't look like he's moving that fast, but there he's pulling away from everybody for a 15-yard gain, right? It was like one of those. So, very excited for him. I think he will be the clear number 2 guy there behind DJ Moore. Right? DJ Moore's a superstar. I think everybody will continue to see that as we did last year. I think he will be 2. I think Keenan Allen's going to be 3. I think when it's all said and done, because this kid is he's got a lot of Keenan Allen. He's mature for the position. He knows how to read defenses and leverage and all of that. And then, I think he's a little more physically gifted than a Keenan Allen at this point of his career.
We got a question on a receiver who was not a first rounder. I didn't actually look at him. Keon Coleman from the Bills.
See, you are an amateur film watcher guy.
I just was like, once I got through the first round, I was like, that was the assignment.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Scarecrow Boat says Keon Coleman has been quiet in the preseason, dropped the touchdown pass. The Bills are relying on him to be their ex-receiver. Do you think that's realistic? And if he can't do it, are they SOL?
Well, I think he can be an ex-receiver. I don't think we want to make a living of him there. Again, ex-receivers, for my money, are guys that we go, like we've talked about. Jamar Chase, somebody you can just go, hey, you're out there. Yeah, you're on the line of scrimmage, so you got to get off the jam, right, because the corner's all over you. But if you're one-on-one, you're running by everybody all day long. So that's why we're putting you at X. Those are those type of guys, right? I don't think, and I don't know, did you lose your noise?
I did just lose my IFB. So
are we still there, anybody?
we'll
there we are. We're back.
We're back.
Now we're off.
And now we're off. Okay.
Hello.
This is everyone listening on the podcast. An IFB is something you put in your ear, so we no longer
now
can
you're
hear
back
that.
again.
Now we're
though.
back.
Okay. All right. Who is playing tricks on us? Is this is Ellen in the garage for Clark W. Griswold hitting the switch on the light switches here? All right.
Okay. We are back.
We are back. I don't know if we went out all the way to everybody.
We're off again. Okay, so I think we just power through. Okay. And this just shows our toughness. Well, even in the preseason, we can power through not having IFB, which...
I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure that it's actually people can hear us.
Okay.
Like, people in the control room,
right.
anything like that, can they hear us?
Regardless, leave this all in, because I think this is good podcasting. It takes people behind the curtain, right?
That's what we got to do. That's what we are. Let's just make sure if they're not texting me.
And people go, hey, what you do is not hard, but have they ever tried to do a podcast where you cannot hear yourself or the producer?
No,
I doubt it.
No, I doubt it either. But now we're back, though. Just as soon as you said that. Okay, hey, we're back. Are you guys hearing us, though, seriously in the back? Okay, we're good. All right, so here we go. Continuing with Keon Coleman, we will deal with the crowd noise and the microphone issues.
Yeah.
Keon Coleman, I don't think you want him as your X all day long. One, because he's not fast enough to where when he has to go against Jair Alexander or the top corners in football, they're not going to back off of him enough to where they're going to respect his speed like we always talk about. One of the things I liked, and again, I think he's another one here, like we talked with Marvin Harrison Jr., when the starters play and the regular season starts, he's going to benefit more than anybody, right? Nabers is such a freak, it doesn't matter. That's what's different about him. Though Keon Coleman, he's a great route runner. Yeah, he's a guy that, we want him at X, but you're not going to see the value of him at X with some of the quarterbacks we got playing. When Josh Allen's playing, and he's kind of covered, but I throw a fucking piss missile at his ear hole, right? That's when we're going to go, that's a good little combination there. Even when he's covered, he's not covered. It doesn't matter, right? But that's what you need your starting quarterback to be able to be in there to show your receiver is capable of doing all that stuff all the time, right? So boxing out, physicality, one-on-one, all that, it's going to show itself more when Josh Allen gets out there. The second thing is they will start to call plays for him too, where he'll be, again, not double moves, but fake the shallow cross, come back out, right? Sit there like you're going to get the little option route, then come across the field, because he's very good with change of direction stuff, let alone he's big and he's going to work the middle of the field. But I don't think, again, they're another offense that's been kind of simple, and they're not going to show you how they want to use him totally yet.
Sure.
So I would say watch out. But to the point of our question and all that, yes, his speed does not pop off the film. It does not do it that way, and that's where, it's not for him. But the route running for a big guy, I am impressed by that. I mean, he really can stick his foot in the ground for the size of the human being.
6'4", 215.
Exactly
the best
right.
is yet to come for Keon Coleman. Now, Morgan is standing off, with a battery. I don't think it's a battery problem because we both lost it at the same time and it both came back.
Yeah,
so unless both of our batteries. So I think it's not a battery problem with the IFB.
We're good right now. Let's not mess with anything.
Don't touch anything.
Right.
We're
Whoever's
good
turning
now.
It off in the background.
Even Morgan, don't move. Just stand right there because everything's working fine. A couple more receivers to go through here.
Yeah.
Let's go to the fastest one in combine history.
Right.
The Chiefs, they needed another fast guy here. Xavier Worthy. Fosball 15. How is Xavier Worthy looking in your eyes? To my untrained eyes, he appears to be more nuanced of a route runner than I initially expected.
I don't disagree with that. He still needs to work to me on his twitchiness a little bit, right? Which is crazy that I'm saying that about the fastest human to ever run at the combine. Yeah. But quickness, making people miss side to side, right? The explosiveness in which he gets out of the break, I still think could be better, right? But I'm hopeful that it will get better. I don't look at it and go, "Oh man, no, he can't do it." No.
That's funny. That's probably a strength thing, right? The stronger the legs, the more explosive you can be out of a break. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
The straight line speed is just getting the
yes. Well, he's a straight
going.
line speed, getting the train going, and off of that too, what can be harder for this guy with the route running to a degree is he's a long strider for his size, right? He's another one like you were kind of saying with Odunze, where you're like, it's fast, but is it that fast? Oh, well, yeah, it is, because that guy's left him in the dust, right? I think he moves faster than what we think it looks like on TV or on film or anything like that. Now, where I will agree with our Fosball 15 is a leverage and leaning people in certain ways. That has definitely been better than what I expected. I thought maybe, he might just be true straight liner. But, he has some plays where, he's leaning like he's going to run the post and boom, he goes out to the corner. Or I'm running to the corner and boom, he goes to the post. So there's some of that. But do I think, getting his feet underneath his body and continuing to work on those short area explosive movements to where, right now, I don't know if he's the guy you'd want, like we talked about with Odunze and Keon Coleman, run the fake shallow cross, plant your foot in the ground and come back out. He's not that guy yet. Yeah. And you want that. I mean, and I think he can be that, but those are certainly like the area he's got to work on.
Well, he did just run by my guys, Vildor and Amik Robertson in the game. So he was able to do some of that deep stuff, but it's interesting that you know maybe some of the limitations with him early on here. Now, one receiver that you loved in the draft too, almost as much as Malik Nabers, number 2, probably more than most, Brian Thomas Jr., taken in the first round by the Jaguars. Leonardo Fernandez says, you put Nabers and BTJ in Tier 1 together, and both are turning heads in camp. Which one is going to have the best rookie season? So DraftKings has given us the rookie receiving yards leader odds here.
I like it.
And currently the favorite is Marvin Harrison Jr. at plus 185. Then you got Malik Nabers, Keon Coleman third. You got to go down pretty far to get Brian Thomas Jr. there at plus 1,600.
Well, I would right away tell you that if you got extra money, Brian Thomas Jr. would be the guy that if you want to take a long shot and hit it rich, that'd be the one I'd tell you to go with. I have a hard time not agreeing, though, with the top 2 guys. More than just because of their talent. They're the clear number 1 receivers on their team, so the offense is going to be manufactured around them, right? I don't know if we can say that about really anybody else on this list here, right? Rome Odunze will have plays for him, but there'll be more plays for DJ Moore, right? And he's just a special big-time player that way. Xavier Worthy, again, plays for him, but Rashee Rice is probably going to get the majority of the receiver combination rounds, and then there's Travis Kelce too. Right. So that hurts him, right? So I look at Nabers as the guy I would still pick, okay? But within that is, you got to trust Daniel Jones, and hopefully the offensive line is better, which it is better. There's no doubt. it does make me feel warm and happy that my top 2 guys in Tier 1 have definitely gotten the most, what I would call, worthy buzz of like everybody, whether it's people that have seen them at training camp, people on their own team or other teams that go, whoa, he's the real deal, right? You heard Detroit players saying it. You've been hearing it at a Giants camp all along, right? And then Brian Thomas Jr., what I wrote in my notes is, and I'm going to just flip to it just to make sure I get to it here. Out of all the wide receivers, I think he looks the fastest and most explosive, right? He's the one that when I go, oh, well, he's gone. He's running by him. You know, even his one catch that he had in the first preseason game, he was gone, ran by the guy, had to stop, made an incredible catch behind him, right? To me, looks a lot like Calvin Ridley-ish, right? And looks a little less raw than I expected him to look.
Yeah, because he's actually was a pretty good route runner. There was one play, like a 14-yard, Mac Jones had to roll out.
To the right side there.
Yeah, double move out. It was like
kind of gave it a stutter and then kind of stuttered like he might go inside and then broke out, right? That's stuff I didn't see in college, right? And that's where colleges, like we talk about, don't blame them for what the offense was, right? That's where like you hear me sometimes go, well, you got to piece it together. Wait, let me see if the freakiest athlete on the field can go 10 yards and across. Oh, he can, right? We didn't see that, but to see it this early and go, oh, he understands how to change speeds and lean people a little bit and then explode out of it, definitely encouraging there. I'm excited for him. I think he really can help their offense, right? That's where it's going to be great too. Yeah. I wouldn't make him the sure bet for the drafting most receiving yards because of the same things we talked about. They got a lot of people down there that are going to catch the ball.
Christian Kirk,
right?
Gabe Davis,
right? Evan Ingram, right? So they're going to spread the wealth a little bit that way, and even their backs are good at catching the ball out of the backfield. So, but I think he is the guy that big plays. Could we look at it at the year and go, who are the rookies led in average yards per catch? Oh, it was Brian Thomas Jr. Right? Ooh, he had maybe the best highlight plays of the year, and I think he is the guy that, you know, really might in a lot of ways help out other people in that offense with Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. They need a deep down the field element, and hopefully Brian Thomas Jr. can do that for the Jaguars.
Willing run blocker too, I've seen in a couple of the plays, which is kind of I kind of like to see that. That's cool.
Definitely
football guy.
Yeah, exactly, football guy. That's right.
All right, DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns, and new customers can bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly, plus get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium.
Wow, 1 month of NFL Plus Premium sounds good. I use that all the time. Download the app. Use the promo code Unbuttoned when you sign up.
DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. See, I told you.
I mean,
it was like
that was simpatico.
Episode 1 was terrible.
Yeah,
I was like, it won't take me long.
Right,
I'll get back into playing.
We didn't even look each other, give a hand signal or anything there. We were right, but then you're gonna all up by missing the next few weeks.
I'll be back to square one.
Yeah,
you'll
be back to square one.
But then, hey, week 2, I'll be back. You know, the regular season. We don't have this guy listed, but I do want to talk about him real quick. He's a pass catcher. Brock Bowers, Raiders.
Good.
He's only played 11 snaps.
Yeah.
It was all week 1 against the Vikings. They lined him up everywhere. It was like tight end, in the backfield, out wide, and he showed that he could handle it all.
We had to do word association with Floria today, and with what I did with him was right along with you said. I said Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only 10 or more plays, but it was like, wow. I mean, he lined up in 4 different spots in those plays, right? A traditional tight end, the second tight end right off of Mayer lined up at tight end. We saw him at fullback. We saw him in the slot. We saw him outside, right? So, yeah, another guy that, you know, in preseason, there's not a lot of game planning for tight ends and do that type of stuff, but I think that just gives you a little glimpse of where they're going here, that he's going to be on the field in some capacity somewhere, and whether that's he's a fullback catching the ball in the flat or some screen, whatever, he's going to be featured in the offense and certainly looks the part.
Looks like a stud.
Definitely
for the Raiders,
looks like a
for
stud.
Sure. All right, let's go to the offensive line here. We teased it.
Yeah, you teased it, all right.
Interesting observations. We'll start with the first one that was taken. The Chargers took Joe Alt. Played 55 snaps this preseason, all at right tackle, I believe.
Yep.
Young and Wise 83. How is Joe Alt looking, in your opinion?
Right. So first thing I want to say with the O-line, I'm as impressed with the rookie group of O-line and the first rounders I feel like that I've ever been in my life, or at least since I've been on this side of the business.
It can be hard for them.
It can be hard. It's really, other than the quarterback, maybe the toughest adjustment in the sport. That's why we've seen so many first-round tackles like the first year, the second year. Oh, are they going to be good? And then year 3 or year 4, we start to go, oh, yeah, there's the guy we thought he could be. Yeah, there's a lot. But this group here, even some of the guys I thought, oh, I don't think he's going to be ready right away, they're ready. They really are. And I look at all of them, and some of them I thought, well, he'll just be a backup this year, and they'll get him in the starter next year. I look at all of them and go, well, damn, no, they're gonna be playing this year. They look good. They fixed their problem that they had in college, or their technique, or their pad level, or whatever. So really impressed with the whole group so far. Back to the question of Young and Wise 83. Joe Law looks like he's been playing in the NFL for 3 years. I mean, right? I mean, again, it's no wasted steps, right? Perfect assignments, right? Like great athlete, okay? Can be a little high with his pads in the run game. He doesn't blow people off the ball, right? If I was going to get negative and go, well, he doesn't just dominate guys, but his guy rarely makes the tackle and he does his job all the time. That's the biggest thing, right? And you're going to have to do that, and then the power rushers getting underneath his pad. Can he handle that a little bit, right?
And you didn't really see that in college, right? It was like he was never really knocked off balance.
Right.
You have seen that a couple times in the pros.
NFL, because it's with all due respect, a whole different animal now that you're messing with there, right? It's grown men. It is the elite of the elite from college, and compared to college, they have the black belt in martial arts with pass rush moves, where in college he was like, if the guy had one move, they were like, whoa, he's got a spin move this week. We got to watch out for that. Now it's like he's got 75 moves, let alone he's a freak in nature. So, yeah, that's what we're going to watch as we go, but I don't think we're going to have any problems at all there. He's going to be damn good. It fits what they want to do, and, man, Justin Herbert looks like he's going to have a lot of time to throw the ball behind that group there.
Oh, man, he would love that, right? He hasn't necessarily had that in his career.
Technique, I think, is what's so impressive. I mean, you just see technique the proper way in pass blocking, and in the run game, he's very efficient and always leads with the right foot or takes the right angle and does all that stuff the right way.
So you did not like him more than JC Latham.
Nope.
JC Latham was your number one offensive lineman. He was taken by the Tennessee Titans. He's only played 14 snaps all week 1, none last week versus Seattle. What do you think of JC Latham in those?
I love his body. You know that. I love his legs and everything there, right? Compared to Alt and maybe some of the other guys, maybe a little more raw, right? And in the pass protection way, right? Like, you can still see the potential of him being able to collapse an O-line or the D-line or do stuff like that, which excites me, because I go, unlike Alt, I just go, wait, this guy has the real ability to just absolutely dominate people in front of him when he comes off the ball in the run game. But he's not as polished as Alt. We knew that, and I would say maybe a little less polished than I was expecting, really, for him to look in his limited amount of snaps. Huge man, all that, love the legs. We see the power and ability, right? He can collapse the line, but leans a little much in pass pro, and definitely lets his feet and legs get in some weird positions where you go, well, that you can't get in that position there when you play Nick Bosa, or you're going to be on a highlight reel going the other way, being thrown by him, right? Just like, again, we talk about linemen and the kick steps and doing that. When you start to see it looks like he's playing defense in an NBA game and doing a crossover and everything like that, you go, oh, shit, watch out. That's going to be problems a few times every game if he does that. So that's some things he's got to clean up, but the ability and specimen's real.
And I think people were intrigued by him being paired up with Bill Callahan, who was coaching the offensive line there.
Right.
And my burner account actually asked that, as you can see there. I now have a burner account, which I should not label it as such. That gives it away. But what do you think? I mean, this is the perfect situation for a guy who's raw.
It definitely is. Bill, they will get him straight. I think the fact that he's at left tackle there, right, already from day one, that tells me enough that Bill Callahan's seen enough to know he's going to be okay, he's fine, and they'll continue to work and deal with some of the mechanical technique type of issues there, but he's about as good a spot as you can absolutely be in with the Callahan family.
What do you think about this one? Penn State, interesting one. Olu Fashanu has played 54 snaps, basically half is left tackle, half is right tackle.
Right.
Israel DMS7 says, how is Olu Fashanu looking? Do you think he'll play? Where do you think he'll play this year, or do you think he'll play this year? Played right tackle last week for the first time in his career. And looked good.
He did look good. I would say another guy that kind of surprises me and maybe looked better than I even expected him to look, right?
Dominant at times. You're like, man.
Dominant at times. One, I think the thing that we were bothered by in the draft, right, was the run game and some of that where it was like lethargic and you're like, wait, I know the pass blocking is great, but like, is there anything else he does that's great? They're definitely a little more active, urgency, physicality, whatever you want to say, in his movement overall, right? Where, you know, like I said, at Penn State at times, you'd be like, yeah, he's got to get to the second level, and he's moving like a sloth. And, like, yeah, the guy made the tackle. Like, what's right? So I thought that was good, right? Yeah, the Carolina, I think it was the Carolina game, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, right off the bat, might have had a play or two where it was like, oh, the pass protection wasn't great, but then he settled in, and like you said, it was dominant. Like, you felt like, man, nobody's got a chance against him along the edge here, right? So that, I think, was really, really impressive. Really good technique, I thought, throughout. And like we saw in college, when he's a good position and he can get his hands on you, maybe before you'd like him to get your hands on you, it's over. You're screwed. His long arms or whatever, he kind of squashes all your momentum and power, and he just eats you up. So, I impressed. Do I think he starts or does any of that?
Listed as a backup right now to Tyron Smith at left tackle.
I don't think he will start. I think this is one where they're going to go, wait, we got some veterans here that are pretty damn good when they're healthy and all of that. And let's continue to let you grow. Let's not throw you into the fray against the 49ers on the road right away in week one. And most likely, with these guys anyways, someone's going to get hurt. I mean, Tyron Smith's been hurt a lot. Morgan Moses has been hurt a lot. So you'll have to play anyways at some point. I think that's probably the way we see him. Or if one of those guys doesn't play up to par, then he gets in and does that. But I was impressed with the progress, right? Still needs some run game work as far as driving the legs and being a little lower, but I did think it was all better than what I saw in college at Penn State.
Steelers got a couple of guys on their offensive line, some new toys. Troy Fautanu, who came out from Washington, correct?
Yep,
and Zach Frazier was West Virginia?
West Virginia, exactly right.
Harry says this. Thoughts on the future of the Steelers' O-line. Fautanu was out for the last preseason game, but rookie center Zach Frazier has looked good while everyone is panicking over the play of Broderick Jones so far.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Frazier does look good, right? They lost their he's going to be starting now because of somebody who I can't remember what his name got hurt. Herbig got hurt.
Yep.
So he's thrusted in there, but
he may have started anyway.
He might have started. Exactly right. That's what I was going to say. I don't know if that really mattered because I think it was going to trend this way anyways. Okay, what I will say about Broderick Jones is he was a lot better in game one when he was playing left tackle, which is where he practiced all year, compared to game two when Fautanu got hurt and couldn't play, and then he had to go to right tackle, and he definitely struggled, and he stunk. There's no other way to say that. So I get that. What I will say about Troy Fautanu, though, is, man, out of everybody, he's probably the greatest athlete out of all these old linemen. He is some incredible, like his ability to pull or get to the second level or have to cut off some defensive lineman who's lined up a gap, inside of him, and he's still got to cut him off to not let him make a tackle. Like reach blocks is what we would call it in the NFL. That stuff like pops off the screen with how explosive he is off the ball, how good his feet are, how good his shuffle is passing and all that. But to me, it's the power aspect that I will question a little bit. I know we talked about with Alt where he gets it done, he doesn't like dominate you. Fautanu in the run game kind of the same way. I don't see him drive people off the ball, but he gets his body in position to make sure your guys doesn't make the block and do all that. But again, we'll see if that's good enough when you got to play, some of the starting D linemen. Plus the run game, he doesn't move people on contact always. He doesn't drive his legs through contact. So those are areas I think he could be better about. The anchor, the power on the point of contact, running the ball, and then the anchor when he's getting a power rush, I think are things he can get better at. But damn, the athletic stuff is off the charts good.
Agreed.
Anything else there you saw or bothered you or anything?
He got beat. I mean, Daniil Hunter beat him around the edge one time, but it's just like that's the hardest guy you're going to go against maybe the first half of the season, maybe all year.
Exactly right. Daniil Hunter, and to watch the play, he's probably like, wait, I'm in good position. I know where the quarterback is. There's no way he's going to be able to turn this type of an angle and get around me. Yeah. Like, it was one of those where I had to go back and watch it a few times and go, man, I mean, Fautanu's really not in a bad spot here. This is kind of just like a freak guy doing a freak thing, like literally going like a receiver, like, no, I'm going to plant my foot in the ground and make a cut that you are going to be like, whoa, that's the sharpest cut I've ever seen a human being that size ever make in my life. And he got the sack. But yeah, it wasn't outclassed, I guess is what you say. It was just he's dealing with a special player.
Welcome to the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what it's going to be like
Exactly
sometimes.
Right. There's none of these guys in the Pac-12.
A couple other guys who I really liked, first-round offensive linemen. Amarius Mims, the Bengals took him. He's played 16 snaps, he had an injury history in college, got hurt again. But when he plays, he is a giant human being out there for sure.
Yes. To me, was the most pleasant surprise, right? Because I know I loved his pass protection and his size and all that. But, yeah, the injuries, right? He can play a little high at times at Georgia, all of that. I think he was like, gosh, he looked good. I just was like, wow, Amarius Mims, holy cow. First off, he's the only person on the planet that makes the other tackle, Orlando Brown Jr., look small. You're like, what? That's Orlando Brown Jr.? He doesn't look that big anymore. But totally, like, look the part, I thought. I thought it was really impressive. And, I think there's more bendability, athleticism there. I really wrote, like, the first thing I wrote is, all right, holy shit, he is huge. I wrote, right tackle, still a little upright and high in the run game, but the feet are damn good. And damn, in the pass game, he is immovable, right? He's the most, I thought, he was pick 18. Out of the guys I had watched to that point, I said he was the most impressive pass blocker of all so far, right? I felt like feet were good, that nobody was going to beat him in a speed rush, and power rush, good luck. Like, he ain't moving. So I hope he gets back healthy soon.
The thing for him, he was going up against a rookie, fellow rookie, and Chris Braswell. Which we like Chris Braswell. You liked him too, but he did not have a chance against Amarius Mims in the couple of times that he was pass rushing against him. What do you think about Dallas's guy, Tyler Guyton? 56 snaps he's played in the preseason so far. A little bit against Max Crosby, looked okay against him.
He played the start against the starters last week, right? That was the ultimate test. We'll see how he looked. I would say other than Mims, right, and maybe Fashanu, this was like my other pleasant surprise. A guy that I looked at and went, man, long, what a great athlete he is, but, man, he needs work on just about everything. Like, I see the physical ability, and he's definitely worth a first-round pick, but he needs work. I don't know if you'll be able to depend on him in the first half of the season. Well, I was wrong. Like, to me, I look at him and go, well, I don't know. Maybe Dallas needs to look at making him a starter and getting him out there. He's not as thick and as big as some of these other guys, right? It's more of a taller, longer, leaner type of look. And, his pad level was egregiously too high at Oklahoma at times, where you were like, man, he's not going to be able to run block against anybody in the NFL. That really changed. He, like we talked about with JC Latham a little bit. Latham, excuse me. Way to go. Way to correct me. He also was another guy, like in college, where I was like, man, the feet and the legs and the technique are all over in pass protection. Yeah. Right? You see a little of that, but it's really improved to the point where I'm like, wow, he's taken to the coach, and that's a big improvement I've seen already from what he's doing there. And then you talk about, he's going against the first-team D, right? He definitely looks like he's got a little more, what I would say, asshole in him, a little more toughness, a little urgency, firing off the ball and being mean and driving people that way. That was all really, really impressive. Like, he's more ready to go than I thought he would be.
All right, those are the offensive guys. Yeah. We got some defensive guys to talk about.
Yeah.
But first, let's take a break. Let's talk about what else we got going on here at NBC, because there's a ton going on.
There is.
Premier League this weekend. I got a little bit of that before the Paralympics, but enough about me.
We got it all. College football, NFL, fantasy football. We got it all.
And by the way, welcome to the Big Ten team.
Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yep. I'm a part of the college football show
You
now.
are. So, I mean, we have
Pumped.
our Big Ten Saturday night game, but then we have games all throughout the day sometimes, and Peacock games, NBC games, Notre Dame games, of course.
Yep.
And so now you will be offering your insight on those studio shows.
Yep, I will be. I will be on the pregame shows with Maria, Joshua Perry, Nicole Arbach. I'm very excited for it.
Ahmed Fareed on location with Matt Castle.
I can't wait to
Mike
throw it to you
Robb.
and be like, hey, what does that jerk Ahmed think on the site? Please tell us.
Real quick, I mean, like, because you dive into the college athletes so well.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think this is an extension of that, and I'm excited to hear your voice throughout the college football season.
Thanks,
I
dude.
really am.
Thanks. I'm excited for it too. I mean, Big Ten football. I think the world of it. There's some storied school programs there. Great tradition, college football, and the tradition and the bands and all that. I love that all. Right. So I really am excited. I look at it not only like cool to be a part of something so special, right, all together here at NBC. I look at it as also a great way for me to cheat for my draft evaluations, and I really have a good feel for that type of stuff as we go on. But yeah, pumped for the new opportunity or the add-on opportunity to what I'm doing, and my weekends will be exhausting, but they'll be fun.
Add more to your schedule is what we like to do. We got to get you on the Matthew Berry Show, maybe too. The Roto World Fantasy Football Draft Guide is now available exclusively through a new partnership with Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life. You can get a Fantasy Life Plus subscription and receive the Roto World Draft Guide plus fantasy, DFS, and betting tools to help you dominate the draft all season long. Use promo code ROTO10. You get 10% off. You go to NBCSports.com/fantasylife to learn more. Now we go to the defense.
The defense.
We got some corners. We got some D linemen. Let's start with a corner, and let's start with Nate Wiggins, who is a guy who played 43 snaps all the first week versus the Eagles. That's a ton to play in one game.
Yes, it is.
Had a shoulder injury.
I know.
Is back at practice, though, I believe.
Good.
So, I mean, that was part of the concern, a slight build.
Yes, he is.
Can he stay healthy?
Right.
But the Ravens took him in the first round despite that. What'd you think of those 43 snaps against the Eagles week one?
I was blown away. I think that's what I would say. And I know, and I'm playing starters. I get all of that, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the way he moves, the way he accelerates, how easy it looked, right? I would say out of anybody, out of the corners in the first round, he looked the best out of anybody. I've not seen anybody show that type of ability, right? We know, I think the thing that I love about him is, one, he does play physical for a skinny guy, but it's, as you always hear me talk about, hey, his ability to change direction and do all that, you see that in the game and go, wow, I mean, what a flip the hips, breaks on the ball, breaks it up, does that. But his pure confidence in his straight ahead speed, that is like the thing I wrote. Like, you better be able to run to back off Nate Wiggins. Because if you think you're just going to send some normal, it's our third receiver who runs 4.62 over there, he's going to go over there. Nate Wiggins is going to go, great, I don't have to worry about a go route. I'm just going to, every time he drops his hips, I'm going to be ready to go too. And I'm going to be like in third gear. So I'm going to be able to change my direction in a hurry and break on that ball once I go, zoom, let me get the fifth gear. That's where I like his game. I mean, you saw it all. Even the ball skills, seeing it, making swipes at it, all of it, really, really impressed by Nate Wiggins. I mean, shut down looking type of caliber corner out there.
For sure.
Right?
Sticky,
right.
100% sticky.
Yes.
And, there was one time there's a little wheel route by the running back. He was not afraid to go up there and aggressivly did and took his legs out.
He does.
He doesn't play like a guy who's worried about getting injured.
No, he doesn't. You're right. He what we call in the NFL, he shoots his gun. When he sees it, he fires off and he tries to make the play or get the pick or whatever. He's got like a, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, remember that corner, right? Who could fly and do that kind of build there. it's a little slighter than your normal corner.
So you said he's the most impressive. You like him even better than your man crush Quinyon Mitchell, who went to the Eagles. He's played 53 snaps in the preseason. He's been better than him?
Yes, I will say, but it's like not by a lot.
Sure.
Quinyon's had to be out there with the starters. They've moved him around a lot more, right? I think the thing that I'm surprised by is when they get a nickel, they put Quinyon Mitchell in nickel. And he made a few plays against the Patriots, too, where you see that. You could see his ability to be fast twitch, accelerate, and break on a ball or do all of that. I will say he, like a Malik Nabers, looks like to me he's got a little bit of the camp legs, right, where he doesn't look quite as poppy explosive as I feel like my eyes told me during the draft process. And again, that could be a guy, again, like we talked about, the nerves, and he's playing a ton of snaps, and he's with the first team, and he's with the second team too. Maybe that's catching up to him. But no, it didn't pop to me quite like it did with Nate Wiggins.
Okay. What about Terrion Arnold, my guy?
Your guy.
Detroit Lions has probably been amazing.
Well,
13 snaps. Hasn't been a lot.
No, it hasn't been a lot. He's starting. I mean, plain and simple. I think here's what I'm shocked by. Right, I know Terrion's a good football player. We know that. You know my concerns. Everybody knows my concerns that listen to me. Is he fast enough to play on the outside and cover the Jamar Chases of the world? I still don't think that, right? But I think he's smart. He'll know how to make do on that. I thought he would for sure be your nickel, right? Because he's such a good instinctive football player. He'll tackle in the run game and do that. But I think they've gotten to training camp and they were like, Amik Robertson is an incredible nickel. And he is. Right? To where now Terrion Arnold is outside. I didn't expect him to be the outside guy all the time.
Yeah, he was on Malik Nabers. He was on Jalen Hyatt in that Giants game out there, out wide.
Yep. I mean, he's strong. He knows exactly what he's going to do, right? I'm still going to say, do I question the straight speed a little bit? Yeah, I do. But he's, like I said, too, because he's smart, he understands his defense, he understands what the offense is doing. You know, those will be things that help him make up for lack of that top-end speed that we talk about.
Let's get to a couple of the guys that are down and dirty, the big butts of the draft, of the first round. Seahawks taking Byron Murphy, Hawkstrologer, frequent guest on the podcast. How high is Byron Murphy's ceiling? Seems ridiculous, and McDonald is his head coach, so ... I think Hawkstrologer is very optimistic.
It's not ridiculous, it's redunculous, okay, is what I'd say. Yeah. I mean, what up, my man at Hawkstrologer? I think he'd probably take the award for most impressive defensive rookie.
All capital letters dominant versus the Chargers week one.
I mean, dominant, disruptive, immovable. You put the word there, and then he did it in week one, right? He really showed it all. Yeah, I worried, like, hey, he's not the biggest guy. Can he handle double teams? Oh, no chance does that guy have any chance against him in a double team. One-on-one against some of these interior linemen, I don't think they got a chance. But he showed the ability to, like, push the pocket with pure power or win with his athleticism. So, yes, to me, he looked like he's got a chance to be a superstar. And, one-on-one versus interior O-lineman is, to me, looks like, again, and I know we're not seeing starters, but he could be one of those guys where they go, we're playing Byron Murphy this week. Okay, all right. We kind of got to slide the guards in the center his way every time because none of our guards can take him man-to-man in a pass. But we need two on him. We need the guard to be able to overset for the outside move and have the center sitting there on the inside move to help out a little bit. That's where I think he's got a chance to be. He's got that play-up style, let alone I can just do what I'm stay right here and make a mosh pit in the middle of the offensive line too.
A little like Jalen Carter-ish,
yes.
Not like necessarily as dominant as him, but it's like you got a game plan. You got to have a plan for him.
I think
or
so.
Else he's going to mess things up.
You can just see like how athletic he is too, and just positions, right? Like we talked about, like he can be in awkward positions, and you're like, well, damn, he didn't go down and he got the tackle. Like what? How did that happen? Yeah. Right? That's where he's really, really damn good.
Darius Robinson, a little later in the first round, edge, D-line. He's Arizona Cardinals. Only played 10 snaps, but it's been all over. 4 at defensive tackle, like 4 at the left end, 2 at the right end.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to give my analysis of him?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, all right. Amateur film watcher guy.
Yes.
Looked at the tape, and it's only 10 snaps, so you don't want to extrapolate too much here. I had more of a question with him. Will he be strong enough inside, good enough pass rush moves outside? So I still had the tweener vibe with him. So I wasn't necessarily sold as my amateur film watcher guy.
Yeah, I think he's going to be primarily an inside guy. Okay. I think that's what he's going to be.
Is he strong enough for that?
I think he is. Think about the 2 or 3 plays you saw. That was the starting Saints offensive line.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was literally like, and threw them off, Ruiz, a few times. Or the runs away, get off me, I'm going to run over there. I think the first play he got in, right? He kind of made a tackle with the run away from him. They were trying to run. So he's not going to be sexy sack guy. Mm-hmm. He's going to be F the play up, disruption, throw the offensive lineman off of him. And the running back's going to go, oh, shit, I can't go into that hole anymore. And he's not going to make the tackle and somebody else whiz, but we're going to sit here on a Monday or a Sunday night and go, man, Darius Robinson affected a lot of plays. I don't worry about him that way. I think the strength is going to be fine. He still, to me, showed that unbelievable arm strength and upper body strength that we saw in college. Now, the next thing we have to see is just double teams more, that type of stuff when he's playing a real 3-technique defensive tackle.
Sure.
Right? So that we didn't get to see a ton of that, but I know mano-a-mano, I got no question about his power that way. He looks bigger than college.
Sure.
Like they've already told him, like, hey, you're playing D-tackle, the DN stuff, that's not you.
Get strong.
Put a few more pounds on. And he looked about 10 to 15 pounds bigger than he did in college, to me at least.
AZAUS NFL asked you about Darius Robinson. You answered most of that, but he ended his question with this. Did you see Marvin Harrison Jr. cooking the Colts in joint practices?
I had heard about it. I did not see it. I did hear about it. But see, this is what I'm talking about. They don't call that. That was the route I'm telling you, right?
Yeah.
Show that play again or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just let it ride. That's those plays aren't called in the preseason, right? That's where he's going to make his bones. Understanding where the DB is, really getting the DB to commit to the shallow cross, puts the foot in the ground, comes back out perfectly, and now
sits down. Look how he sits down.
He's incredible with stuff like that. So that's where, again, some of these receivers, a guy like this, as you heard me say, he's more a little bit, hey, route tree offense. He's going to take advantage of everything you can do there. And he's going to be able to handle and do everything. That's the value in Marvin Harrison. Even though I know I didn't love him as size, he's not going to catch a slant and go 80 or just run by you by a bomb. But he's going to be a guy that an offensive coordinator is going to go, man, if I do this and do this with him, nobody will ever be able to cover him ever. And we're just going to keep doing that and doing that. And he understands everything that goes along with the game. So, yeah, those were impressive. I did see those clips.
All right, let's finish with this. And we don't necessarily have these guys in the rundown, but I think we should at least touch on them briefly here. The edge guys, because there's a lot of debate on who was the best one. Was it Dallas Turner, who ended up going to the Minnesota Vikings? Was it Laiatu Latu, who went to the Colts, who was the first overall? Just those two guys, first of all. 35 snaps in the preseason for Turner, only 8 for Latu so far. And in those 8, he gave Garrett Bowles, who's the starting left tackle.
Gave him some issues.
Broncos, he gave him issues.
Yeah, well, I think out of the edge guys, he looks like the most ready, natural to me, right? I mean, for all the things we talked about, I think he's got a little more variety in pass rush moves and just a little bit more polished up maybe than the other Chop Robinson or Dallas Turner. So that's what I think you look at there and just go, like, he was one you just went, wow, he's ready right now. Starter, good for him, right? And, like, got good hands already and all that speed and the bend and the speed and everything you want, right? His bend and movement look special. Dallas Turner is a freaky-looking athlete. Week 1, we got to see him turn the corner a few times, and you go, wow, he does that easily, right? Let alone – he is like, when he's standing up and stuff, you just go, holy crap, that guy just looks like a player. His legs, his arms, whatever. He dropped into a lot of zones in the second game a little bit, but I think that shows his overall versatility as what he is there. But I think the tools are there. I'm going to say I'm as impressed with as I am with Latu? No, but his bend is every bit as good. And then we just got to see a little more variety in pass rushes like we talk about. But he hasn't got the ton of opportunities to show all that stuff yet.
Jared Verse has played 0 snaps for the Rams so far, so can't evaluate anything there. Now, I will say there's one guy out of this whole first round that I was like, ooh, maybe, I don't know. It didn't look great to me. And that guy was Chop Robinson for the Miami Dolphins. 23 snaps, all in the second game versus the Commanders. I don't know. I mean, am I misreading this? At times, I thought he looked a little lost, a little dominated, kept in check for the most part.
I wrote, man, he can get off the ball. Man, his speed will wreak havoc. But can he do anything else? Now, that's going to be the thing. Because, yeah, I see what you see. Yeah, if there's a straight line or he gets a chance to shoot a gap and they don't close it quick enough, yeah, he can be – you can go, whoa, well, look at that. Who the hell was that exploding off the ball? But at the same time, if he doesn't have that first step edge coming off the ball, you go, well, he doesn't even get close, right? Or if he gets hit in the run game, you just go, well, damn, it's over. He can't get off the block. He can't do that. So that is where we're going to have to evaluate Chop Robinson, and they need him to come through, you know. So, yeah, it's his ability to – is he going to be able to, on a regular basis, physically dominate? Or is it just going to be like, we got to line him up wide, and we're just going to say, go get the quarterback, and the hell with everything else, and we'll tell everybody else to kind of fill in behind him in the run game, right? And that can happen. But, yeah, I'm with you in the fact that I'm not sure about it. I'm with you there.
And I'll give him the caveat, too. Yeah. I mean, he went against the second-string tackle, Chris Paul, from Washington, and he looked really good. I mean, maybe it's more of a credit to him and how he handled that situation, because he looked pretty good there.
Yeah,
so maybe it's more of that, but we will see. We got one from 4Niners701. I wish people would give you as much respect for your Trey Lance take as they give you hate for your Zach Wilson take.
Oh, I know. It's all right. The Zach Wilson thing, you know, follows me everywhere. It's the one thing that people love to, you know, get on me
How
about.
dare you think the number 2 pick in the NFL draft and the number 2 available player on most teams' boards was bad?
I know. It is what it is. But I will say, I do say that from time to time. Right? Like, hey, I don't get in that draft, I don't get credit for like, hey, Trey Lance, I told you there was problems throwing the ball. Justin Fields, I told you there was problems throwing the ball. So it's okay. That goes with it. I appreciate you saying that at 49ers 701. You could always just drop Mike and go, yeah, but he told us about Mahomes and C.J. Stroud and Josh Allen.
Lamar
Jackson. So suck it, whoever you are hating on Chris Sims. You can always say that. You feel free to steal those lines.
Yeah, exactly. And we will come and fight that person, too. If you need us to, we will show up. Just give us the address. We want to tell you one more thing here, too. Fantasy season just got better this season. $1 million better. You can create or join a private Yahoo Fantasy League and enter the $1 million NBC sweepstakes.
Plus, earn extra entries to win when players on your fantasy roster score a touchdown during an opening weekend game on NBC or Peacock.
It's got to be on NBC or Peacock.
That's right.
Download the redesigned Yahoo Fantasy app or go to NBCSports.com/FantasyMillion to learn more. And just like that, we have done it. We've done what some people said we could never do.
Cannot be done.
Go about like an hour.
Chris Sims and Ahmed Fareed can only go an hour and 30 minutes plus. There's no way.
Right.
I almost feel like we're cheating the audience. I feel like I'm cheating myself sometimes.
Like what else do we talk about, though? The weather.
We did skip out on some guys here and there. So anybody that we missed or whatever, please send in questions.
We did miss someone.
Yeah.
Graham Barton, the center for the Bucs.
Yes, we did.
He's looked really good.
He looked very good. I mean, starting center capability, I think they found the right spot with him at center, right? I think, you know, why I love him at center is just you can see how twitchy and poppy he is off the ball. He's extremely explosive that way. And usually your center has to be the guy that's the quickest in short areas, right? Because they're got to snap the ball and get over here and cut this guy off or do whatever there. So, yeah, that was all look good. That Bucs O-line's got a chance to be something here if they all stay healthy. But, yeah, like anything athletic, I'm not going to say he was blowing people off the ball, but he certainly didn't look like he was ever overpowered. Yeah. But second level, pulling, screens.
He was run blocking 15 yards downfield versus the Bengals.
He really damn good that way. So, yeah, it's no bad plays. I always look at that. Let me see what the bad ones, how bad were they? There was none of that, right? So I think they got a pretty good nucleus down there between our man Cody Mock and him and Tristan Wirfs. I mean, Wirfs is arguably, in that combo for best tackle in football. So they should be able to run the ball and protect Baker Mayfield this year.
Todd Bowles loves that. He's like, I want to run the ball.
Right. Jordan Morgan hasn't played yet for the Green Bay Packers, the other offensive lineman, so we didn't hit on that.
Ricky Pearsall hasn't played. Xavier Leggett has not played.
Exactly right. I think other than that, we've hit the majority of everybody else,
I think
right?
we did it all.
Boom.
I think we hit them all.
All right, good.
In an hour.
Way to go.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, way to go. Only here. Chris Sims Unbuttoned, big, dumb, blonde guy. Right. Can give you 26 picks in under an hour. Little evaluation.
A guy that shows up in a box in Bangladesh after throwing some interceptions in the preseason.
That's right.
Can do a podcast in under an hour.
With a guy that's an amateur film watcher. It's pretty incredible. We'll see. Week 3 preseason, who will play, who won't. That's always an interesting thing to see. Some of these rookies who, again, might be starters, they might still play them just to go, hey, he needs the extra experience to be ready for week 1. So that's what I'll be looking for. I think the majority of football, we're going to see that not a lot of starters are going to play this week. It's going to be all backups, right? For the most part, I would say 51 out of the 53 spots on the roster are sewn up right now for every NFL football team. And there's 1 or 2 guys that it's going to come down to the last preseason game, who was best running down on kickoff or kick return blocking or whatever. And those are the spots that are left right now, barring an injury, which could then upset everything, right? That's what always thinks too. You go, and I made the team. I'm going to make the team this year. I'm going to make the team this year. I'm going to make this team this year. And then preseason game 3 happens, and you go, we lost 3 O-linemen and a D tackle. I was going to make the team, but now they're going to bring 4 extra guys on the roster, and now I might not, right? So, there's a lot of guys holding their breath this weekend, that's for sure. You know where to find us. Subscribe, rate, review. You won't know where to find Ahmed for the next 2 weeks because he won't be here.
Yeah,
he'll be cheating on me with the Paralympics, but that's fine. He can do that.
They pay me for all of it, so it's like I do what they tell me to do.
With open arms when the time comes, all right? All right? But we'll miss you. Good luck with all that, all right?
Thank you.
Subscribe, rate, review. You know where to find us. We'll be back Monday, a week 3 preseason recap, and we'll hit on anything else interesting, newsy out there. All right, everybody, peace out. Have a great weekend. Peace out to all the homies out there. Clap it up. Yo, what's up? Thanks for watching, homies. You know it's the off-season, but there's no off-season with Chris Sims Unbuttoned. It's the NFL. It goes all year around, all right? So hit subscribe, please, to hear my thoughts on your favorite team, your favorite quarterback, and, hey, how this season might unfold as we get ready for the 2024 season. We got a better picture, clearer look now that the draft is over, free agency. We know who's playing quarterback for certain teams. So, again, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies. Check you out soon.